Welcome to another video. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. Today's flight will be taking us to the United States again. We'll be flying from the city of Buffalo to Chicago Midfield Airport, or Midway Airport in Chicago. We'll be using the PMDG Boeing 737-600 with Southwest Airlines livery. We're using real-world time and real-world weather, and as you can see, the weather behind us is looking a little bit gloomy, but that is what the weather currently is. We're standing here parked at one of the gates at the Buffalo airport, and do not have a lot of traffic here, but there is some. We're using the Aerosoft Symbol Traffic tool that will generate these sort of random aircraft and liveries basically. And then we're using also GSX for a little bit of fun and immersion. And so this is our little chubby girl, the Southwest Airlines, the Boeing 737-600. This livery comes with the package when you purchase the 737-600 from PMDG. Really interesting looking colors, if you ask me. Very clear contrast. So let's hop on in and set everything up. So we get our flight plan out of Buffalo into Chicago. So the weather here, winds 350 degrees at 4 knots, so that's not a lot. 10 statute miles visibility, broken clouds at 1200, broken clouds at 1800, 7 degrees centigrade, altimeter 3010. And the weather at our arrival at our destination, that will be wind from 200 at 4 knots, 10 statute miles visibility, few clouds at 7,000, scattered at 25,000 feet, 16 degrees, and altimeter 3015. That's a really short, quick little weather overview. Alright, so let's turn on the batteries. And we align the IRS system. And then we get some bright lights going here. We got the ground power connected, so we can just go ahead and turn that on immediately. And have some overhead panels, overhead lights. And the logo lights, we'll turn those on, and the anti-collision lights. Since we're just standing here, at least we're displaying some activity, that there is someone inside this aircraft doing whatever. So pausing it, let's actually get a little bit of panel lights going on here as well. Whoops. Sometimes this happens. There we get a little bit of lights here, and let's also have some lights down here, so making it look all nice and fancy, you know. Alright, man. So the RF airport, with KBUF for Buffalo. Now the gate, I believe it was 25 or something. No, it's 14. So let's type in 14, see what happens. Well, actually recognized, that's always good. So the route, we can just request some sim briefs. KBUF to KMDW. There you go. Set payload, set fuel, and select route. So we got kilograms, 6,000 kilograms of fuel. The route uplink is ready, so we'll load it in, and that is now loading into the FMC here. So departure and arrival. Let's have a look at our flight plan, or the OFP rather. So we have cost index 5, cruising flight level 400. Cost index 5, flight level 400. Average wind 341040. Planned fuel, we got block fuel 6041, so that's loaded. And the final reserves 2.3. Could make it 2.4 if you round it up. The routing will have a direct out of departure runway 23, then a direct to the Juliet Hotel Whiskey VOR, then direct to another VOR, ASHEN, and so on. Then we got the Pang 5 arrival for runway 22 left. The Pang 5 arrival is not an ILS approach, will be, or actually this is just an arrival, but we'll have the not an ILS approach at 22 left, but it will be a RNF. So 22 left, so first departing runway 23, that will be a direct. So runway 23, that will be direct. So that is it. And then for the arrival, let's see, that's RNAV. RNAV Zulu 22 left. Got the Pang 5. And we maybe have like a transition, we got BAGEL. I do not see it on here, so we'll just go execute, and that will be our route. So go to our relax page, we'll see after BAGEL, then to Pang, Megs. We'll look at that in a little bit. Alright, so back to the init left page. So performance initialization. So let's say 6.1 on the block fuel. And we can say it was 2.4, I believe, for the final reserves. 2.3, I could say maybe 2.4 if you round it up. Cost index 5. And cruising flight level 400. And the cruising wind was 341 at 040. Knots. Transition altitude 18,000, it's the standard of the United States, so we can execute to the N1 limit. We'll, let's get the passengers boarding now, because this setup is going quite swiftly. So request boarding.
Boarding requested.
Departing runway 23, runway condition dry. Well, not really sure. It looks like it looks dry. Runway length 88. Let's import from OFP for now. Import weather and calculate. These speeds cannot be calculated with this config. Verify weight and select a different flap or D-rate trough. No, we do not add the tug. Yes, please.
Pilot's boarding starting.
Got some nice stuff going on there, thank you. Imports from aircraft, well, we could do that, but obviously the passengers have not loaded yet. So the baggage handlers have arrived. sometimes that you start just looking at me, going, Arkady, you know, touch me, pick me up. What can you do? You do it, you know. So the baggage is loading up, passengers are boarding. So if we can get through here, come to her. But here's the passengers walking through the floor there. So let's just pretend we did not see that. What is this passenger? Oh, it just looks like, well, you don't have to fly, you know. You are allowed to fly, but you don't have to, you know. So I thought you were here out of free will. So importing from OFP, it does calculate now, so let's put something in. Can change this around later maybe. So I think standard derating, so just take off at 51 degrees.
Boarding pass, please.
Should give us 87.4, this gives us 86.8, that's no surprise. So take off will be flaps 1.
Boarding pass, please.
We trim 6.16, that does add up, and V1 124, rotate 128, V2 132. This is giving us slightly different numbers as well. Runway length remaining, I believe, is 88. There you go, 88. Put that in, that will be close enough. That's basically the setup here of the FMC, but we will maybe need to do this again after the aircraft is fully loaded. So the departure route for today. So we'll be departing runway 23. This is Midway. So let's go. Oh, we had a direct. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so where's runway 23? That will be this one right here. So we just for pushback, we just push back nose to the left. We just follow on the alpha. Very simple. We're basically right next to the runway. It's behind us. We got the departing aircraft now. Although they look to be departing from a different runway, maybe.
May I see your boarding pass?
Right, so we can set flight level 400 in the box.
This way, please. Hello.
For 40,000 feet. So it looks like the aircraft figured out location in the meantime.
This way.
So that has all been done. So let's turn on the yaw dam. Arm the emergency exit lights. And I guess we can start the APU now. Let's do that. The APU is going to start. Turn on the fuel pumps. So we have fuel on board now, don't we? 6,000 kilograms. So we'll set the cabin pressure for our cruising altitude, 40,000 feet. Hydraulics, stroke heat and window heat. The EGT is dropping now for the APU. I believe we were not able to open this door, right? Oh. a shame. I like it with the when you can open the door. So APU is available. Let's turn on the APU bleed. We'll need that to start our engines, and we switch over to APU generators, so then we can we should be able to disconnect the ground power unit. We can do this on the ground operations section. So ground power released. So the local QNH, look at that again. So 3010. So that puts us at 700 feet or so, just in case we need to return, which I have no procedures for in my head. So 700 feet. So the local lights are on, and the anti-collision lights are on as well. We got the APU bleed. The cabin pressure has all been set. APU is running. We're now waiting for the passengers to finish boarding. And then once they're done, we can start requesting the pushback. Well, it's just right next to the runway basically, so we just drive that direction and we get out of here. See anything else? So let's get ourselves the squawk code, and let's also set up the radio boxes here for the pilot monitoring and the pilot flying. So we go for 3121. Will be our squawk code for today, just like pretty much every day. That's all set up correctly as well. So we'll go right there. Alright, so now basically we just wait for the passengers. We could have another look for our takeoff numbers. So we go to the performance tool. If we do imports from aircraft, we'll probably get different numbers here, but we could have a look. It's actually staying the same. Takeoff 51 degrees Celsius, 124, 128, but we already got different numbers from the FMC. We got 127, 127, 132. I don't think this will cause us to crash or anything, but yeah. So what's the status now of the boarding? We got 96 passengers out of 112, so we got about a dozen passengers to go. And then we should be good to get out of here. And let's go to Chicago Midway. Setup wise, I think everything else pretty much done, so we're already on APU. We can check here the mass control panel, the mode control panel, so we can arm the auto thrust. The flight directors will go on both sides. Always take notice that, look at this, so you have to add the one that you turn on first will get the master light on. So yeah, so that the aircraft knows that this is basically the pilot flying and not monitoring. So that's why we turn this on first, and then the first officer turns on the second one. So flight directors are both on. We can put speed 250 in the window, since we're below 10,000 feet after takeoff. Alright, so VNAV armed LNAV, that doesn't arm yet. That's not a big surprise. So after takeoff we can do a heading. First boarding completed. So heading 211. And how long is that? 47 miles, so there's no departure route really. We'll just choose heading 211 here in the heading box. And we'll do a heading select. So 211. So LNAV doesn't want to operate yet, so we'll just go with the heading select. So I think that's it. So let's call the tug. So prepare for pushback and departure. And then comes the funny game again with the doors there, because it's always a sort of a tug, if you will. No pun intended.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Well, that's good news, Charlie. So am I. There you go here, ground operations, and you say, well, I want to close the door, and then these doors open up again on their own. So just choose close all. And you've seen this happen often on the channel. Door closes. They should pull back, but it doesn't. This actually works today. I'm very happy about that. Sometimes GSX makes you look a little bit funny. Alright, so that's cool. Then ground connections, we can remove the chocks. Oh, we need to set the parking brakes. We'll set chocks, that's okay, so the chocks are then removed. Let's quickly get our performance data now. Imports from aircraft, input weather, calculate. We still got the same values. So we're just keeping it 124, 128, 132. Acceleration height 1500 feet, flaps 1. So we'll do nose left, tail to the right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake release.
Commencing push. All engines clear, start at will.
Alright, so we'll need to set our trim, 6.12. But you know, with an analog system like this, you just put it at 6 and just nudge it a little bit or whatever, you know. Something like that. As long as it's in the green band there, it should be okay anyway. Whoops, let's not break it. Alright, that is that. And anything else? We're pushing back. Well, let's start the engines. Start up engine number 2 first. We're waiting for the N2 percentage to reach around 10 RPM, and then we'll add some fuel. So it's going swiftly. So that's engine number 2. EGT still rising. So standing by to set the parking
Please
brakes.
set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Copy that. So engine number 1. 8, 9, 10, and let's get some fuel in. The engines go slurpy, slurpy. We got an American Airlines. Got a bunch of Southwest. We're Southwest as well, but we have a different type of livery. This is one that came with the package. I do like it. A bit funky color. So they're waiting for us now to confirm a good engine start so that they can release the tug. So it looks like a shitty day here in Buffalo. But we'll soon be above the clouds anyway. Alright, so the EGD is dropping, so let's confirm good engine start, and then they can disconnect us, and then we can get out of here, confirm good.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Let's turn
You
on
can
traffic.
disconnect.
On the nav display. And let's see. Let's turn on the TCAS now. So we have engine start, so let's clean up. So let's switch from APU to main generators. So we can turn off the APU now. And also turn off the APU bleed. We needed it for starting the engines. Turn on the packs now. Gun still doesn't want to engage yet. Sometimes you press it and it just, there's a not on intercept heading or whatever. So I'll just leave it like this.
Tow truck disconnected, bypass pin removed.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin
Clear,
removed.
clear.
Alright, this is clear. Well, this guy's funny, man. Alright, so it looks like we're almost ready. We need to do a couple of things. So we set the flaps 1 for the takeoff. And the speed brakes go to the auto brakes, go to rejected takeoff, RTO. The flaps traveling. And now we wait for the confirmation. There you go. Okay. So showing us the pin. Yeah, we see it. Yeah, we see that you did not have a second pin in your pocket there. Listen, man, I wasn't born yesterday. Okay, so verify takeoff speed. Unit ref. And then one limit. So 127 V1, rotate at 127, our V2 speed is 132. And that basically concludes the entire setup as far as I can guess. Let's actually get a little checklist here. So before takeoff, flaps, green light, stabilizers, remulus, we've set that. So that's good. So we'll keep this on the auto after takeoff checklist. So let's get the hell out of here. So we turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. And for now this is it, so parking brake released. And let's get this party rocking. Oops, maybe a little bit of jet blast there. Accidentally putting the engine in reverse. So this Buffalo today. Real time, real weather. Well, actually, after what happened during last flights, let's have a look and see if everything is okay. We can actually just check here where is our clock. 20:02 Zulu, and that's correct. So during our last flight, there was a weird discrepancy with the real-time issue. And I went here and I would check the real time. It was actually saying it was on real time, but it was displaying a different time. Yeah, that was the first one for me. But luckily we landed at Hong Kong airport in one piece. Right, so ground speed is now 8 knots, so that's nice and very nice and decent. So it's not a very complex airport when it comes to taxiing. This is runway 23 that's to the left of us. We'll have to cross runway 14 now. And it looks like we did see some traffic there earlier, so let's just have a visual before we cross it. But everything looks clear. So we can just go ahead and cross this. So I think everything is pretty much set up. Got our landing lights. Let's also turn on the strobe to position, the position light strobe steady. Get the cabin crew ready as well. Cabin crew, please take your seats and get ready for taking off. Yeah, that was the slowest, longest takeoff message to the cabin crew. Okay, so the auto thrust is turned off after accidentally hitting the reverse button. So let's turn that back on. Do we have LNAV available? No, we don't, so we go by heading select for now. And we'll just get on here, that should be fine for us. So it looks clear on the approach side there. The TCAS is already on, the landing lights are on, the strobe lights are on. The cabin crew should be seated now and strapped in, just like the passengers. So this is our runway for today, runway 23. Alright, so for takeoff we'll turn off the packs for a little bit. This will increase our engine performance ever so slightly. And I guess we're good to go, man. So let's start the clock. Actually, was it this one? Elapsed time. Okay. So 50%. And take off thrust. And let's go to Chicago Midway. Chicago Midway is an interesting airport. It's like in the middle of the city, and it's like it looks like made in Sim City, you know. So rotate speed will be 127. So let's come up momentarily. Let's rotate. There we go. Positive right. Gear coming up. There we go. Also stay on top of things here. So the flight director is guiding us to the left. It's also helpful. And nose down a little bit. We're now 1500, which is plus acceleration and altitude. So I'm going to turn on the autopilot now. Have to be a little bit careful now. So we've got CMD, CWSP, let's see, VNAV is on, and LNAV is on as well. So our speed is 182, so we can almost retract the flaps. Get the outward display a little bit less. Right, the flaps coming up. And then we lock the gear, and the auto brake can be turned off. And we don't need the runway turn-off lights anymore, and the taxi lights. Let's get our after takeoff checklist. So engine bleeds to on, packs to auto. So we need to return on the packs basically. They will also help with the pressurization. And the engine bleeds are on. And we might need some anti-ice going through these clouds. That looks pretty beautiful. Sticking through these clouds, seeing this urban area below. Quite interesting. Alright, so let's continue. So engine bleeds to on, packs to auto, landing gear up and off. So we turned it off by putting the lever in the middle. And the flap should be up and no lights. And the flaps are showing up, the lever is showing up as well. So that's the after takeoff checklist complete. And then next will be the descent checklist, so we can get this out of the way. It will be a fairly short flight, I think like 90 minutes airtime or something. Total nose up positions 10 degrees. Once we reach around 10,000 feet, you will see the nose will start to drop significantly to about 5 degrees or so. Usually that's the point where we will turn off the seatbelt sign. We can actually turn off the anti-icing now. And as you can hear, immediately the engine output also gets affected by that. Right, so our first waypoint is actually VOR, Juliet Hotel Whiskey, in 36 miles. So we're approaching 10,000 feet, so let's watch the nose go down. There we go. So 10,000 feet we can retract the landing lights and turn them off. And let's set the passengers free. And then we're basically fully like configured to reach our cruising altitude and just cruise. So speed increasing now as well. So speed above 10,000 feet. We can we don't have to stay below 250. So we'll go to climb speed basically 278. You can also check in your climb page and you can maybe set like a target speed. And you can say I want to climb at 283 or something, whatever. Do we have descent page to top of descent? That's 265 nautical miles. That's really nice with the PMDG 737 that you have the descent button, cruise button, and climb button just next to each other. Beautiful. It really works like a charm. Alright, so we're well on the way. There we are. Leaving a cloudy city of Buffalo behind us. And then we're getting to the crowded airport of Chicago Midway, in the middle of the city. So what are our engines doing? Engines looking happy. So engines happy, then I'm happy. Fuel, 5.4 thousand kilograms of fuel. And we should also be able to see on the progress page, once we arrive, the fuel on board will be 3.2 thousand kilograms. So, our arrival runway will be 22 left. Runway 22 left does not have an ILS, so this is going to be a RMAF approach. Basically the aircraft simply following waypoints, but then there will be no guidance, no vertical guidance to get us down. And thinking there's probably also not a localizer. So this is the approach chart for Chicago RMF Zulu, which is our arrival for runway 22 left. Basically taking us to Steady, to Tact, to Sails, to Mendu, Zandvoort, Hinson. This is actually the go-around, I think. Yeah, this is the go-around. So to take us to Zandvoort for runway 22. It does say an ILS here, but I'm not really sure now how this works. Let's be mindful of this. So there's no ILS shown here. This is new to me. I don't know what this means. WAAS channel 8 or CH. It looks like channel 87132. But the final approach course 238, we can put that in immediately. 238, just so we have it. Alright. Yeah, so it doesn't really have a final approach chart, or does it? It looks, yeah, well, this should be it, but it looks a bit funny to me. But that says something about me. So Sales Dixon. So basically, we could maybe say 2500 at Mandu. Not really sure they're saying here Mandu as well. So that's the point that we'll start doing a 3 degree, or 3.17 in this case, degree downslope. To land at runway 22 left. So we do have an ILS, but I'm thinking this will not apply to us. I'm not sure why. Yeah, maybe it's just that you have the information, but we don't need it for us. We will need this information, I guess, but I have no clue what to do with that. So we're not going to be doing anything. Basically, it's just going to be a visual approach for us. That's what you can expect. So we're now 8 minutes into the flight. Past 18,000 feet, you can see also here, this is now, what is it, amber, yellow, so we go to standard pressure. I'm curious about the visual conditions or the weather conditions at our airport or destination, Midway. So visibility is okay, that's 10 statute miles. We do have 110, let's see, wind coming from 110 at 12 knots, gusting up to 18 knots. Got visibility 10 statute miles more. Few clouds at 7,000. That's fine. Few clouds at 25,000 feet. 16 degrees and QNH 3012. So looks like it's good visual conditions. Wind condition. So wind 110. This would actually suggest that we could maybe use a different runway. Let's look at the weather and see if there's some ATIS. There's actually a real world ATIS here available now as well. So Midway ATIS information, Mike 11012 knots gusting up to 18. ILS runway 4 right in use. So we can actually do an ILS. Let's see if we can change things around without breaking everything. So go to departure arrival, ILS, and then what was it, 04 right, 04 left, that I don't know. 04 right, ILS runway 04 right approaching use, landing and departing runways 4, notice to airmen runway 31 right and 13 left, repurpose to taxiway hotel, runway 31 right, 31 left, 13 left are closed. Aircraft should operate mode Charlie on all taxiways and runways. Midway aircraft on frequency 135.2. Feedback or runway hold short. So this is actually the real world ATIS information. It's pretty cool. So with the weather conditions currently, they are giving us, they're using 04 right ILS. So ILS 04 right, let's choose that. And we looks like we can keep the bank 5. So let's just go ahead and execute, see what this does. And sometimes we'll get these really weird shapes, so let's just quickly check here on the legs page if we broke anything. I don't think we did, so that would be preferable. Alright, so let's see. Seat go. Vectors. Okay, so heli Altic and then vectors to Cato. Let's get rid of this chart. We go to chart. Runway 04 ILS, that will be ours. So we do still have the same arrival. So we arrive at the general, yeah, we were looking at the arrival chart, wasn't it? RNF, yeah. That was my bad earlier, but it looks funny. This actually looks, I don't know, maybe it's because it's an RNF. Anyway, this will be the actual, yeah, this is the arrival. So I'm just talking out of my ass here. So BAGEL, Pank, Max, awesome, heli, and let's see, what the hell are we looking at here? Altic, that is us, and then here's the runway, it's the airfield. So Altic, so after Altic, let's get the ILS approach chart now, for runway 047. So we will have to change the course here as well. Let's do this now. So we'll set up for localize ILS localizer runway 04 right. So the India Hotel, Kilo Hotel is the localizer 111.5 and the approach course 047. So we put in 111.5 in here. Double check 1115, 047 and to 4000. So 047. Right, so that's information's in. Seat goal will be the point where the glide slope will start to take us down. So that will be our initial basically descent altitude, since there is no control. So 2,400 at Sitco, and that is 5.6 nautical miles from the ILS. Decision height will be 250 radio altitude. So this button here is either on barrel or radio, so we'll use radio. It was 250 feet. So 250 gorgeous feet. Right, so that's that. And see, so runway 04 right. So if we want to find the reciprocal, and look, that's what I mean. This looks like, this is like the entire airfield, just like a square. It's just like you're placing it in Sim City, you know? So 04 right, 047, and then the reciprocal is 227 degrees. Let's put a little range ring around the runway. Damn, I forgot 227. 227. That will be the extended runway center line. We'll be coming out from there, pointing into the opposite direction, which is the direction where we are coming from. And on the ILS chart, we could see the glide slope will take us down from Seattle at 2,400 feet. Distance at that moment will be 5.6 nautical miles from the ILS. So we can just enter here, so that's 5.6. Draw a little circle around the around that area. So we'll be coming from this side. That's why the radial here is pointing opposite, so that we can draw it on our side that we're approaching from, basically. So after Algic, as you can see, this line is keeps on going. That is, you can see this right here on the legs page. After that will be vector. So BAGEL, actually we can fix this later on. So after Algic, oh, we don't see it anymore. But after Algic, you could see the line going, but we'll just go. Probably we can go straight to Cadon. First, we want to check something else. Let's see route discontinuity here from BAGEL. And we are not on our way yet, but we can just connect that with the other one. That should be perfectly fine. There you go. It just keeps on going, keeps on going. So then we get here, and now we're at Algic and Cadon. Is there anything before Cadon? That would be nice. Otherwise, we could maybe just keep on going and then take a right turn. So we vector ourselves to just stay on the Algic heading, basically, which is 278 degrees. So we could maybe for now set this to 278, just in a slight anticipation that maybe we might actually just be doing that, so 278 degrees. But then if you look at the final approach chart, so we are coming from Algic, somewhere around there somewhere, to Cadon, and there's actually something before, so like LQ. So we could put that in, for instance, LQ and banner. So LQ first and then banner. So after Algic, we'll go LQ. I'll just check the correct spelling here. These names can be so funny. LQ, there you go, LQ. That comes there at vectors, and then after LQ, we don't have to execute yet. We can also add the second one, banner. So we'll answer that too. Banner. There you go. And before we execute, let's copy Cadon and put it there on the square. Execute. And then now let's look. So we go from Haley to Algic. Haley, come on, press please. Thank you. Don't give me these stupid arrows. Walk off, man. Okay. Algic and then LQ banner, and it should give us some time. Let's see what's the difference. The distances between that Algic, 70 nautical miles, 2, 3. I think that should probably be enough for us. We do want to be stable. Right, so we're now at the cruising altitude. The engines are at cruise mode, as you can see right there on the upper recast. Let's just go back to the map view. Or what we actually can do, let's go fixed page, and we'll set a range link of 50 nautical miles as well. just for extra alertness, whatever. So 227, and we'll put that at 15 miles. Gives us a second rig, and yeah, so the LQ is before that, so that should be fine. Once we're like at LQ with our nose in the correct direction, then I'm good. So I'll keep that. So thank you. We can go back to the map view, like map view Broderick, you know. Alright, so we're cruising now. There's a lot of clouds here in the United States currently. But the United States are big. And if VRAF speeds, we could do that, but it's a little bit early. But we could at least set something now. So 126 plus 5 will be 131. And this should be reflected on the legs page. I always check, just to be sure, that the aircraft knows it needs to be 131 on the final approach for runway 04 right, 131, and that's sitting right there, and also its seat goal at 2,400 feet. So 2,400 feet, let's put that in a box. Obviously when you're flying online, or in real life for instance, you know, you just get altitude clearances and you don't just do what we're doing right now. But since we're not, we are. So 2,400. Since we're in cruise mode and we're at VNAV, the aircraft will start going nose down the moment we reach top of the descent. And it will target 2,400 feet and hold it there. So descent page. And we probably need to screw this cameraman. Alright, so menu, FMC, descent page. To top of descent, 147 nautical miles at 2047 Zulu. That's in about 20 minutes from now. It's in that sense quite a short flight as well. But you know, short airplane, so short flight. I must say it's an interesting set of colors. So we're now 20 minutes into the flight. The top of descent is also into view here on the nav display now. I must say I'm happy that we have an ILS. Always means less workload and it's simpler, you know, than hand flying. Well, we're going to hand fly the ILS basically, but it's nice when you have the vertical guidance, you know. Okay, so for the descent checklist, which will be only really applicable in about 20 minutes, we'll check the pressurization, put it on the landing altitude too. So let's have a look at the landing altitude. So the airport elevation, 620 feet, the touchdown zone itself 619 feet, so there's a 1 foot difference. We're all very impressed. Alright, so 619, so that actually just means 600 here in the box, so we go from 700 where we departed to 600. And actually the rest of the information we basically checked. We have our ILS frequency 111.5, 047 final approach course. We got VLAP speed 126 plus 5 131, and we got the radio altitude 250 for our decision altitude. We'll now just keep on checking the weather. This was issued at the 12th of the month at 1953 Zulu. We're still using this one. Okay. So 12 knots, gusting up to 18. That's quite something. That's no light breeze. So we released the passengers. So yeah, everything looking good. this is cool. I think we just were overtaken by our own aircraft. Carry on. And if you stop following, it will shoot off. Look at the goal. So we're going somewhere and we're going somewhere fast. Let's maybe recall the camera. Go showcase, reset position. Let's change the drone speed a little bit, so it's not shooting all over the place. So instead of doing a go around before flying, we'll just do a fly around during flight. And since we're using GSX, we should be able to see the passengers sitting there in the cabin. Unsuspectingly, just one sitting there drinking their little drink. So this also has a toilet walkway, as you can see. So if you need to go use the bathroom, there's a door right here. You just get out to this little brown mile, they call it, and you can just sit here. And you can pee down, or you could maybe like sit like this, you know, whatever. Oh shit! There goes the aircraft. Then we fell off. Okay, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. I have no words for it. Alright, 26 minutes into the flight now. So we've got about 15 minutes until we start descending. Everything looking fine. So we do have some winds at our destination. But that's pretty cool. I keep forgetting to maybe like set the sensitivity settings of my rudder control. Because sometimes during final approach, and like moments before touchdown when you need the rudder, it would be nice if there was a little bit more control rather than just going all the way to the left, all the way to the right, you know, just want a little bit more subtlety there. That could sometimes maybe make for a more stable touchdown. But that's something to tweak, and this will take a couple of flights, I guess. So flight time now 26 minutes. We're holding speed at 0.77 Mach. Go to the legs page. That's precisely what it's aiming. Fuel 4.3. So I really like these short flights with the Airbus, with the Boeing 757-600 and the 700. I might at some point be decadent and stupid enough to maybe also purchase the 757-800 and or 900. But you know, at some point I guess enough is enough. They're not cheap. This was the cheapest one. But this one is really cute. Just so short and chubby, you know. I don't know why, but it just looks really fucking cute. That's the top of descent at about 90 or 100 miles. What does it say there? 90 miles, 91. So check for the weather update, issued 1953. That's still the current weather. So 53, 23. Yeah, so either we're going to get a new weather update very shortly, or it's going to be an hourly update that we receive here in the simulator. Can have a look here on Navigator to see if the relators might have updated. There's still information, Mike, so we already saw that. So that will be it. So let's look at the descent profile. And steady tact. No, this is the wrong one. We don't need this. Remove you. The bank 5, this is the one we need. From BAGEL, Fort Wayne, which... So where are we coming from? We're coming from BAGEL. We will coming from BAGEL, there you have it. BAGEL, and then Bank, Megs, Awesome, IROC, Haley. So BAGEL, Bank, Awesome, IROC, Haley. And then from Haley, we would go straight to Altic. And we cannot be below 4,000 feet there. Landing runway 4 right, expect the radio vectors to final approach course. And it's basically what we set up ourselves. We could also, again what I said, we are on a 278 degrees course. And so we put this here in the heading box. So we can also just figure like we're just going to continue a little bit. And then imagine they extended the runway center line going this way. And then we just take a right turn. We put some waypoints there to help us out. The missed approach, let's have a look at that. You climb to 1100 feet, then climbing right turn to 2100 feet on a heading of 230 degrees and inbound on the EON VOR radio 001 onto crossing Igesi. Oh, that's looking wonderful. So we're not going to be doing that. Right, cool. So time 2037, that's 10 minutes to the top of descent. 72 miles. 37. Curious about the weather developing. It looks like it changed a little bit, or quite a bit, since we started the stream. Fuel flow 0.904 kilograms, or basically 940 kilograms of fuel per hour per engine. So if you consider what we were flying earlier today from Melbourne to Hong Kong in the 777, then you would see at some point like 6.5 and 6.5. So it was like burning like well, let's say like what was it 3 plus 3? I think it was 3 plus 3. So it was like 6,000, 7,000 kilograms of fuel per hour that was burning. And if you compare that, that's a lot less with these two engines. Let's check the inner left page. So we chose flaps 40. It gave us 126 knots. Since we have burned a little bit of fuel now, we're a little bit lighter, and it's going to give us now 125 knots. So that means our final approach speed will be 130. We might be needing a little bit more, not really sure about the wind direction. 110, and we're landing 04. So that is that's definitely a crosswind. I don't know, speed-wise we might be okay. So 125, and then we should see 130 on the legs page. 130, there you have it. Let's see if we can get our camera recentered again. don't know what causes a person to like airplanes. I guess it just happens. I mean, you know, if you think about it, some people like Shetland ponies. And some people like origami. And some people know everything about garlic. You know what I mean? So, it's just random, you know? And if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. 2041, let's check the weather updates. 1953. So that's it. So we'll probably get one more weather update before we land. 45 miles until the top of descent, so that's basically a couple of minutes. This is right upon us there in front of us. So we did do a couple of things already. So we set the landing altitude 600 feet. This is for the pressurization system. And lately discovered, fortunately, that sometimes I might have forgotten to turn on the packs after departure. And then you're just flying with the packs off, but the packs are actually essential in having the aircraft pressurized correctly. So I would get these warnings and everything. It wasn't pretty. At some 5 more minutes, we'll start descending. We don't have to do anything for the descent. It will be managed. CMD is on. That's our autopilot. FMC speed on the VNF path, so that will just take us down on its own. As long as we set a lower altitude in the box right here in the window, we did that. So that's 2400 feet, which is also then the altitude at which we will start descending or going down on the glide slope. So we got our RF speed. So basically that is pretty much descent checklist completed. Pressurization has been set, landing altitude, recall, we could check the recall. See if anything wants our attention. Nothing wants our attention. No surprise there. Auto brake, well we can do this now. Set the auto brake to 1. Should probably 5 for Midway. Landing data, VRF and minimums, well basically on top of it. We have everything filled out. So the radio output for decision height, ILS frequency and runway heading and the RF speed. And an approach briefing, well that's pretty much been completed as well. Could have a look which direction we will vacate the runway. As you saw, it's a very funny looking airport, so we'll be coming 04 right. There's Concourse, Charlie and Bravo, so we'll vacate to the right. Probably at the Yankee 5 or something. Let's just find a place right there. Probably not going to be a problem. It's, as you can see, it's a very interesting looking airport. And I think around this is just roads and city and it's crazy. So basically the descent checklist has been completed. Before we actually officially, let's just stand by for the descent and keep on checking the weather. 1953 Zulu, so no change yet. Can we zoom in on here a little bit? On the south of Toledo. I do not like the zoom in and zoom out on the PMDG. I must say it's like steps are way too big. I simply hardly ever use it for that reason. And my brain doesn't comprehend the light-dark configuration. I would have it reversed. So I'm not sure what is land and what is water. I mean, I am if I study it, but that's the whole point. I have to study it. So the gray bits are land, but it should for me be. My brain just wants it differently. I don't know why it is. Ask my parents who created me. And maybe they don't even know as well. 1953 Zulu. Alright, so 2 more minutes, we'll start descending. Let's see if the Midway airport is still there. Definitely not as much cloud as we saw earlier at the Buffalo. We do have this little heads-up display. I don't really like using it. It does look really cool. So we got our speed 231, we got 0.77, which is the targeting speed at the moment. We got our left speed here, 125 knots. Our ground speed, 426 knots. Heading is set to 278, we see that here, and the course set to 047. But showing those values here as well, that's actually pretty nice. Vertical speed 0, but that will change momentarily, because we are now at 2047, so descent will start right now. The vertical speed will probably change, although we're not in VS mode, but I think it will show. Not sure. We'll see this in a bit. I'm curious. The radio altitude that we set, you can see it also 250 feet above the ground. There's the navigation path 3.6. CMD is on. We can see that as well. So that's the autopilot. If you turn it off, if you turn it on, you get CMD. It's calling us a retard, so just take notice that we are retards now. So here is the vertical speed. We're descending. Let's just leave it on for a second. So we're a little bit below the profile. Does it show up here as well, actually? Like a vertical deviation kind of thing. Not that I can see. Okay, let's get this out of the way for a second. Let's get one more look here at the VRF speed. So that's 130 knots, that's okay. So we'll keep that. Back to leg stage. So we're now on our way to ASHEN. We'll be there in 60 miles. And we should be flight level 335. We're just going down. We're a little bit below on the profile, that's okay, I'm not worried about that. Speed targeting 244. It's interesting at this altitude, but okay. So let's get the approach checklist just to double check. Presentation we set, recall, so maybe let's do one final recall check here. That's all clear. Auto brake we set to 1. Landing data VRF minimums, we have all of those. Approach briefing as well, and then approach will set the altimeter. So the weather. Hopefully there's an update. 1953. No, so probably a couple of minutes after 2053 we will receive it. You're expected to touch down 2127 Zulu. That's in about 25 minutes from now. And our fuel will be carrying on board as 3.1 thousand kilograms. We're now 3.8, so we're not burning a whole lot of fuel now. 0.4 per engine, so 800 kilograms per hour. Like for instance, when you're taxiing to like a medium, on a medium airport, usually it's around 200 with aircraft like this, it's like 200 kilograms of fuel that you're burning only for taxiing. I'm gonna get this thing out of the way. It's totally distracting for me. So, thank you very much, sir. Alright, cool. So we're descending. Currently 1750 feet per minute. We're right on the profile there. There's a lot of traffic. Look at that. All those little diamonds are all traffic around us. Turn them off, they'll all be gone. So let's keep them in. So 21:29, so now 2 minutes later. We're getting a little low on the profile actually. So that appears to be changing, so we don't have to intervene quite yet. I mean, it's normal, there's a, you know, it's a dynamic situation, really. On the way to BAGEL. That's the one we could see on the arrival chart. The Bank 5 arrival, which is our arrival. So we are now on our way to BAGEL. We're actually coming from this side, look at this. So on our way to BAGEL. So at Awesome we should be precisely 10,000 feet, not below, not above. Haley, same deal, but then 6,000 feet. Like some very hard constraints. Turn on data, believe, now to show the time that you're there. Did we have weather? I believe we did. Let's see. Or was it the Airbus? Been flying so many aircraft, I don't know left from right anymore. So judging from this, it looks like it might be an hourly update, but then knowing that usually we will get it like 5 to 10 minutes later. So curious to see the weather development. I'm going to start the sky dolly off the screen so you cannot see, but it will record my landing. Or basically now the descent as well. BAGEL coming up 24 miles. So we could, let's go to the next page, so we could use a little bit of vectoring. I think we actually might do that. So when we reach Olchik, there, basically that is actually right on the track, so should be okay. I was a bit scared of taking sharp turns. What we could do maybe is that the max bank angle, yeah, it's up to 30. Get a little bit closer here, it's a little bit hard to see, but thingy, there you go. It's a little cut out there. Yeah, so we set it to 30 max bank angle. So this allows us to take slightly sharp turns. So we will need slightly less miles, you know, that we could lose when you're taking a sort of a sharp turn in order to line yourself up, because you want to be stable as you can. You want to be stable anyway, on every level, in every life. I mean, really, who needs crap, you know? Why do you think there's toilets? People don't want crap, you know? Go to the toilet and it's gone. It's not like we're saving it, you know? Like, we immediately flush it. Like, go away, you know? 2056, let's see. There's a weather. No weather. Well, yeah, we got my motherfucking ass. Let's screw that then. Well, not my ass, please. I think 278, we can keep that. 047, that's the new approach course. That's sitting there as well. 111.5 for our ILS. Let's just double check these numbers. Just because OCD is a good thing sometimes. 047, 111.5. 111.5 to 047. So nothing can go wrong. You know, nothing. Time 20:57. Prediction now is we touch down 21:29. That's about 30 minutes. And the moment I said it, the aircraft is going to go retard again. Well, we've been getting used to the verbal abuse. Right, 33,000, so 18,000 feet will be the transition altitude. You can basically trust on that blindly, because it's United States, it's always flight level 180. And Europe, they have their own, you have 3,000 sometimes, 6,000, 5,000, it varies. Definitely some humidity there. Ganging up on the surface. 1953. There we go, 2053. Wind direction 100, 11 knots. Visibility is 10 statute miles. Few clouds 7,000 feet. Few at flight level 250. 60 degrees, altimeter 3009er. I want to please set the altimeter, we didn't do that earlier. So 3009er. inch. We're perfectly on profile. Speed targeting 244 and holding 244. Let's strap in the passengers. Still 30 minutes to landing, but it's a busy area, so let's just go ahead and use that excuse. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. As you may have noticed, we have started our descent to the Chicago Midway Airport. We have turned on the seatbelt signs, so please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Please keep them on until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the light has been extinguished. We are expecting to arrive at Chicago in about 30 minutes from now. The weather is looking nice. It's well, 16 degrees. It might be a little bit chilly for you, but there's just a little bit of wind. Just stand by 1 second, please. Thank you for flying. So what we're looking at. So we neglected the descent a little bit, so not for good reason. So we're now on local pressure, and it's showing us we're a little bit high on the profile. We're on our way to Austin, and we're still descending, so that's good news in any case. 10,000 feet coming up. So let's turn on the landing lights. And the APU. Alright, so 10,000 feet. Alright, 10,000 feet, landing lights are on, the APU is starting up. This is all too easy. Maybe because I rock, I don't know, what have you, man. 274. So we're on our way to IROC. Speed 240. So I got good reception up here, as you could tell. I got a call earlier. Sorry, I had to mute the microphone for that, so I did it, but we're good again. Sometimes there's things going on that need a little bit of taking care of, such as your own life and yourself and your well-being, and your emotional well-being and your physical well-being. That's 8,700 feet, and the well-being of people around you. Down at VNAV, auto thrust, PMDG on. So I'm not expecting any new weather updates then. So 3009, so we can expect around 100 degrees of wind with 11 knots speed. Carry on a little. Alright, so what we're looking at? 7,300 feet. On our way to Haley. After Haley we'll have Olchik and then the newly added waypoints. Oops. Definitely looks a little bit windy up here. Look at that. Aircraft shaking around a little bit. Look at this. Wow. Looks pretty cool. Looking at this, it looks like we only have like 5 knots of wind. So that's not a whole lot. But it looks really like, as you can see, jumping up and down. 6,600 feet, speed 240 knots. Haley coming up for miles. We're still on the descent profile, so that's looking good. Let's turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights as well. And everything up here looking okay. So the aircraft's shaking, man. So approach checklist, altimeters have been set. The engine start switches to continuous, and they are. Speed brake arms, landing gear down. Well, we'll do this on final approach. So now on our way to Olchik, which is 20 miles out. At Olchik our speed should be 240 and LQ 240, banner 230, Kalon 195 and then CTO 130. So I'm curious if the aircraft is going to make that. Seems like quite a drop in change, or quite a drop in speed actually. So we'll see what's going to go down. $5,600. 5,200. So we are now basically 50 miles from the, well 18, but we're actually 50 mile link from the glide slope, or from the localizer, I should say. So we'll be flying Baltic and then to LQ. Looks like I cannot see LQ. Go plan. Baltic. Yeah, that's what I mean. So for LQ, in order to get from LQ to that one there, we already need to make a turn there to banners. So that's why maybe vectoring straight could actually be nice. Do heading select in a bit. Let's stand by 1 second. That should be okay. We'll leave it like this. All right. LQ and 9 miles. Probably no weather update anymore. So looking at the current situation, this being the runway extended center line, and we are landing following from the top left to the lower right, and looking at that arrow, at this altitude at least, it looks like we would be landing with a tailwind. The direction currently on the weather report says 100 degrees, which is will be from our right. Turning now, so we put it to max 30 degrees bank, so it's a little bit sharper than usually. And with distance 15 miles, so let's turn on the localizer, or Army localizer. And it's picking up, so it's intercepts the localizer signal. That's very good. That's one thing down. Now on the way to Banner, 2.2 miles. And when you zoom in, you can see that the benefit of making a little bit sharper turns is definitely there. So we're below the glide slope. You can see the glide slope coming there. It's now retarding. So 236, and it's going down. It's aiming for 195 knots, so that should change the speed there. That's what it's doing. Range 15 miles. Not sure if I see anything yet that looks like airport. Could probably that. The glide slope is coming, so let's arm the approach as well. Glide slope armed. So let's arm the speed brake now. So let's go for the descent checklist or the landing checklist. Engine start switch to check, speed brake is armed, landing is done. So we cannot check it quite yet. So speed up, flight top speed is what it's set actually at 1904. Here comes the glide slope. There we go. We're intercepted on the glide slope now. So let's reduce our speed. So we go a little bit below 180, but maybe I'm confused now with another airport, the earlier landing at Hong Kong. I think totally am. So forget about that, what I said. Okay. Just keep on decelerating.
2500.
Flaps 2. So flaps 5. Just creating a little bit more drag. And I will use some speed brakes here for a bit. These are quite high speeds. 1900. So this is 5 miles. Drop the gear. That's going to generate a lot more drag. Speed brakes retracted and armed. And get our speed as far down as we can now. Going full flaps. It's definitely windy. We do have a tailwind, as you can see.
1000.
1000 feet. Let's turn off the autopilot. Try and hand fly it from now. So now we're looking at the wind from the right, no longer a tailwind. I'm happy about that. Let's try and stay on the glide slope. Currently we are.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
A little bit low. Continue.
$100. 50. 30. 20.
Idle.
10.
Fire. Let's touchdown. And there's no get touchdown. Welcome to Chicago. Reverse is out. And a little bit of toe brakes. 60 knots. Reverses can come up, flaps can come up. And we exit to the right. It looks like there's a lot of places for us to set the aircraft down, so let's just go straight. So it looks like we'll take Bravo 3. Look at this, Midway. So flight time 1 hour 22 minutes. That's parking brake. Well, there we are at Midway. So looks like we made it in one piece. Thank you very much for checking, everybody, and I will see you at the next video. Bye bye.